day, 5 to 7 p.m. What you need to know is you will pledge on your honor that you did not receive or give any unauthorized assistance during this exam. Okay? You will sign over there and you will print your name. Okay? If you don't do that, I just give you 0. Okay? So you need to be honest. You read all the instruction, but basically you bring a calculator. That's a non-programmable calculator. And okay, the update. When the time is up, you must stand up and stop doing the exam. Okay. And then may wait 3 more seconds or something. If you get caught that you do not stop when the time is up for any reason, you say, hey, I'm writing my name. Hey, I am signing your first page. You will get -10 on that exam. Okay? When the time is up, you stop. After receive this -10 penalty, if you still keep doing the exam, I give you 0. Fair enough? So it will be fair for everyone. Okay? When the time is up, just stop. Okay, part 1. Engineering ethics question. Okay? 5 questions, only 5 questions. True or false? Very easy. Select the correct choice or fill in the blank. You get +1 for correct answer. If you don't do it, you get -1. So let's say you just go sit, you don't do anything, you get -1 for each of them that you didn't do for part 1. To not do it, you have penalty already. And if you ever do it wrong, you get -5 for each that is wrong. That's an ethics question, okay? For example, I will ask, will you do something, corruption or something? You have to say no, right? I won't do that. It's very clear, okay? Even though you don't take this course, you should get 5 points. But if you ever dare to say something else, I will not responsible for any safety of it or anyone. That's -5, right? Question? You have question? Correct. For the part 1, if you don't know, hey, I have something bad happen. My company should report to EPA or something, and I don't do anything. I don't say anything. Is that wrong, true or false or something? And if you don't know if it is wrong or not, that's bad already. You should know. But that's -1, right? But if you ever say, that's not wrong, to not report anyone, it's okay. You get -5 for that, okay? Ethics. I think you will be able to do it just fine. It's very easy. Part 2, true or false, just 25 questions. Because we have ethics part, so I reduce this part. Select correct choice. Fill in the blank. Get +1 for correct answer. 0 for no answer. -1 for wrong answer. Okay? Try to not guess. The -1 penalty apply to all questions in part 2. Okay? In this section, including fill in the blank question. So let's say I ask you, hey, what is the viscosity of water is about 1 watt unit, and you don't know. You say something wrong. That -1. And you say centipoise. Oh, okay. Then you get +1. So it's better to not answer, even though there is no choice given. Okay? Too much stressful or what? Yes? Okay. It is easy. Believe me, I do it. I get 25. It is easy. Okay. If you don't know, you should not guess. I want to tell you this. The message from this kind of question is that if you think something is right, okay, 70% chance that is correct, say it. Okay. But another 30% may happen. So after you graduate, you become engineer, whatever you say, other people believe you, whether you know it or not. You act like you know it, and you say something, it better be correct. If it's not, in real life maybe it works, but in here it's just -1. Okay. Part 3. Calculation 10 point, 10 point, 10 point, 20 point, 20 point, and 20 point. Totally 90 point. No penalty for not doing it. If you do it wrong, no penalty either. Okay? It's a calculation part. Part 2, which is fill in the blank or true or false, there's no compressor question. By the way, this instruction is already in the blackboard. Okay, for now, please bring your ID. You have ID, right? I have no one come to my office to admit anything. So all of you, bring your ID. And let's totally check your face if it's matched to your name and the location that you signed. Okay? Until one of you come to my office and say, hey, I'm sorry I did that. Or something. We'll keep doing this. Okay, important part is part 2 has no compressor question. Okay? There's no conceptual thing about compressor in this exam for part 2. However, part 3, which is the calculation, contains compressor question. Okay? It's a compressor question. But you don't have any exam on the compressor. What do I want you to do it? How do you tackle it? So I want you to go to Blackboard. Okay? And O exam. Click O exam. And 2017 close book. Download the solution. Let me click right. Download the solution and read the part that I don't have the homework on it. The part that's related to calculation. Because it is going to be on the exam somehow. Something about compressor calculation will be on the exam. Up to now, you can do that calculation already. Okay? Even without doing anything in this lecture. Okay, this is our exam with solution. Okay, calculation with compressor part. See this? Compressor question. A. What's theoretical horsepower consumed in compressing 10 mmSFD measured at that and that from that pressure temperature to that pressure? What is the discharge temperature? Okay, compression ratio, blah 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 blah. Read it, okay? How to do all this. Think about it as a homework that is already that you already have the solution, but and it's not graded. Look through it, and the exam won't be the same. Okay, it won't be the same, but this I think it will help. So you have the exam, you should review it. Previous year exam doesn't have ethics question, okay, and this year we have it. Okay, a little bit more on the exam thing. Page 2 of the instruction page, I give the conversion factor. One thing that I didn't give is pound mole per 1 million standard cubic foot. Okay. Okay. Name. Who's the last person who answered anything last lecture? You remember? Stuart Bruce? No, you. Stuart W. Bruce. Did you answer anything last time?
Yes, sir.
Brian Bokuro? You did already. Richard M. Bumate? You did that too, right? Oh, okay. Graham Bunting.
Yeah, I did.
You did? Alina C. Carter. You did that too? Taylor B. Cooper. Hi Taylor, how are you? You're doing fine, sir. Very good. Okay, Taylor. If I have 1 million standard cubic foot, how do I convert that to pound mole?
Type it on Google.
During the exam.
Sneak.
What is the penalty? You should not do that. Why is that? You should not sneak, type it on Google.
Oh yeah, I go against the very first part, 5 questions. So
No. If you sneak doing it on Google, that's you get the unauthorized assistant during the exam. And even if you didn't get caught, you did pledge on your honor already, okay? So you have to value your honor. You don't, even though no one catch you doing anything, but you already have this, okay? So Taylor Cooper, if you don't Google, how do we convert 1 million standard cubic foot to bao mol? Come on.
You just said if you don't know, you probably shouldn't answer.
Oh, on last part, there's no penalty. On the calculation part, there's no penalty. How about gas law? Will gas law help you anything? Taylor? Gas law. Will it help to do the conversion? PV equal to nRT. It will help, right? So what you will do is you put standard pressure, standard temperature over there, okay? And then we put right value of R. I give you 3R, 10.7, 8,000 something, 0.08 something. So if we use 10.73, okay, and we know the volume, 1 million, right? You put 1 million for V. PV equal to nRT. Z equal to 1 as standard condition. So that is our value. We have T value. T has to be in Röntgen, and that's a conversion from Fahrenheit to Röntgen. Then we can tell how much is 1 million standard cubic foot in the unit of our mole, right? Okay, I didn't give that, but you can calculate that anyway. Thank you, Taylor. Okay, next part of this, I have the conversion. You see, BTU, 1 BTU equal to 778 phosphate, 1 BTU equal to 1055.056 joules. Power force equal to that much, 1 horsepower equal to that, okay. Unit conversion. And I have equation for actual velocity in the pipe, and I put something over there, and I have this equation. Look at this equation carefully. This part, it is about the compressor, but I did not tell you any unit or anything. So maybe before the exam, you should look it up on what is this unit. Okay. Scott and Curtis. Scott, so this minus W bar. What is K, Scott?
I don't recall.
Ratio of what? You like this answer or you didn't hear it? He said CP over CV. Do you like that answer?
I'll take it, yeah.
You take it, okay. PB, what is that, Scott? Base pressure, okay. This equation is given over here, but it won't do you any good if you don't know how to use it, okay. And think about it. It is given on the instruction. It is closed book, right? This time is closed book, and I give some equation. So it's very likely that you have to use that equation, okay. And I have this equation too, Scott. Ratio of T, ratio of P. What is this for? Mr. Curtis.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is this about? Line heater? No, it's not about line heater. It's about compressor. Right? So if we have ratio of pressure, then we can calculate ratio of temperature. You don't like that? You will know it before the exam for sure.
I will know it before you.
Okay. If you don't know right now, it's not going to be a problem. But before the exam, I think you should know it. Okay? Alright, so this is a equation that just given without any unit or anything. And what else that I did not give? Did I give Hammerschmidt equation? No, it's not there. I put it here. more equation could be given in the problem statement itself as needed. So, did I give a chart on anything anywhere here? Inside the exam there's a chart, but I didn't put it over here, okay? So that you don't know what is what. But for the compressor thing, it may be not quite fair because you have not seen the homework before. So I tell you that this kind of equation, it is needed, okay? Question on the exam? No question on the exam. Yes, sir.
Do we need to spend time memorizing these derivations that we've gone over?
You remember isentropic horsepower? That W thing? Are you talking about that? I think that is too much to put on the exam.
So you're not going to ask us to derive this equation?
Oh, it's very likely that you have to derive something, but it's not going to be difficult. It is going to be, you remember, what do you have on the quiz? Corner black, right? What do you have on the quiz? You remember the quiz? What is the question on the quiz? So the first question is about, you don't remember the question? Ethylene glycol or something? Glycol? Monoethylene glycol? And the second question is about what? Derive some constant or something. So it is, do you have that kind of thing in the homework? Did you do the homework? Is it in the homework? Not yet? I think maybe please look into it. Okay? So there is a question about that, very likely. Okay? About find the constant. We have what? Conversion factor that used for Reynolds number, right? We have, even in the O exam, itself. I think I have something like that on the O exam too. Did I not? O exam. Okay, let's take a look at the O exam. Exam 1, last year. Exam 1 last year. I have, okay, calculation. Select a proper heater treater. Okay, and have the model, loose emulsion, moderate emulsion, dense emulsion. Okay. That's a solution, the graph is given and we have to draw something. That's very easy. Okay, that's last year. And that's a compressor question on last year. Okay, and I have that chart. Okay, for you to draw something. What else do we have on last year? Add methanol, decrease the hydrate formation temperature, given blah 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 blah. How much do we add? So that's a Hammerschmidt equation, right? Oh, last year too bad. It doesn't have any derivation or anything, but it can. It could be. I think it's likely because you have that in there. Homework. Question? Yes. No, I won't. No, I won't. I won't tell you which one. But what I can tell you for sure is, okay, maybe something that I missed to mention. The whole exam is a closed book exam. Available point is 120 point. Cap to 100 point. If your total score is less than 0, your score is adjusted to be 0. Okay? If you get more than 100, it doesn't add to the next exam or anything. I just cap to 100. Okay? So this means if there's a derivation and you don't like it, you can skip it. It may be one of these. Or if you don't like compressor, you may skip it. Or if you don't like, you don't need to get 120, okay? Okay. You don't need to get 120. Get 90 is okay. 80 is even okay. Okay? 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, all that is fine. Okay? Because this exam is what? 20%? Is it?
10,
How much?
10%.
10%? It's not much. Is it 20 or 10? Syllabus. The exam itself, exam always is 20%. Okay. So think about this. 3 field trip you get 10 already. TTU lab you get 10. Quiz you will in future get about 8 to 10. Okay. Homework you should get 22 to 25. So you may at most lose maybe 2 point, 3 point. So you may afford to lose about 2 point here, or 3 point over here, and 3 point over here, and you still get 90. Our final project has to be very good. Maybe you want 90 or more. So that's why the maximum score is 120 and we carry it to 100. Okay. We have what? 1 hour 20 minutes, right? Not 1 hour 20 minutes. It's 2 hours. 5 to 7. Okay. 2 hours 120 minutes. So each minute is 1 point. Something like that. So for the ethics question, I don't think it takes more than 5 minutes. Okay. The first part maybe you take just 10 minutes and it's done. And this just 10 minutes per question. Very easy calculation. So for the easy question on the homework, can you do it in 10 minutes or 20 minutes? Can you? Maybe you cannot if you didn't prepare. Okay, maybe you cannot. Let me ask you this. So of this equation, how long does it take for you to put the number in the calculator? Or how long does it take for you to redo the whole exam? It may take very long if you didn't prepare. So please prepare. Okay? And I think it will be just fine. More question on the exam?
Do you think the best way to study is just do the old test?
The best way to study is do the old test. Yeah, the old test will help, but it's not the same. Yeah. Some question is not even like same at all, completely different. But no one can tell you can do the exam or not until I grade it. Okay. But if you have more experience, so it's more likely that you will do good. So if you prepare the homework, you prepare on, what's your name, Jared?
Yeah.
What kind of question do you want to ask students? That we have to ask?
Like on the test?
Yeah, on the test. What should be on the test? Nice general overview. Let's do that for like 10 minutes. Is it fine or we should skip this? It's okay? So spend maybe 10 minutes of time to review that? Is it okay then? Okay, fine. Okay. This is the first slide. L01. I have setting moment. You all can do any of this, right? Can you? You should. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those things you should be able to do. Did you go to the field trip? So Jared, what can I ask in this picture?
You can ask what it is.
Yeah, where is it, Jared? This part.
Looks like a bunch of flow lines.
What do we call? And yeah. Wow, over there. What do we call, Jared? Or what do you think I would call?
I can't remember it.
Header. Pipe header, right? I don't think this in the exam either, but maybe it's in, but you should know that this is header, right? And what is that, Jared?
Storage tank, gun barrel.
Gun barrel. And the next to is storage tank. And what is this horizontal thing? Do you call horizontal separator? But we have another tool separator.
That'd be a knockout.
Free water, no? Are you sure about that? But do we need to have two?
Want to test it?
Yeah, one of the test separator. And what about that thing? Well, maybe it's too far away to tell, but it could be maybe heater treater or maybe vertical separator. To know for sure that it's heater treater, we have to see the firebox, right? Like this. You see this part on the side turret? This. What is that? That's a firebox, right? If you look from the side, you see the flame. So this has to be what? Heater treater. Yeah, it can be just easy as that. And the black one is the oil tank. This is water tank. And what is that for?
It's not where the wind's blowing so you can run right there.
When I go up there, do I want to be upwind or downwind? What if my pad doesn't have any H2S? So can it kill me? Vapor from the tank itself can kill me, right? Whether this is on the exam or not, you should know it. Okay, that's save your life. And this is compressor. You have electric scrubber, and what is that? Oh, the conceptual thing is not on the exam for the compressor. I'm sorry, but okay, you should know this. So this is the engine in the back, right? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 throw. Good. And maybe it's look similar size, maybe just single step. Okay, tank. Oh, you see the tank at the far end? It's buried underground. This question is not on the exam because I didn't really show you. We have tank buried underground in Colorado because it's so cold. We want to keep the heat in, so they bury the tank. And if you see this part and that thing, it has to be some component that have a firebox, right? And over here, a bunch of this is what? Jared? Header, right? You want to review it, isn't it? If you don't want to. Okay. And that's a tank that we buried. So there's no calculation on the first slide. So that's L01, L02. So this one, when we review it, gas contract. Do you remember anything on the gas contract? You remember the unit. There's a lot of number, but what is the number that, maybe you cannot memorize the number, but you should know the unit. Okay? How much water that should be in the gas? Not more than 7 watt per pound of water per centimeter. It may not be in the exam, it may. Okay? So we have a gas contract. There's no calculation in this thing. And think about this. Calculation thing is 90 points. The question and answer, the memorization part is just 30 points. So I don't worry much about this. Oh, we have a little calculation here, but I think it's too easy. You see this? Maybe for easy calculation, maybe just 10 points or something, not 20 points. We have hydrate. Oh, this thing. Do you think it should be on the exam, Jared? Yeah, what else can I ask you? Is this this, right? Hydrate phase envelope. We spend a lot of time doing this kind of thing, the chart, right? We spend a lot of time doing this. It should be in the exam. And it's about the calculation, right? Sizing the heater treater. Did you do homework about this? Can you do it in 20 minutes? Maybe. Calculation how much is a firebox rating or something. So the calculation can be heat duty or something. Hey, we have some number. Do I ask you to derive that? Maybe, maybe not. What else do we have? Erosional velocity. Right? This is an equation for erosional velocity. We have equation for actual velocity. Is it? It's not in here, but okay. So the calculation part, when you look at it, you should expect something about 100, right? That's 0, 2. Let's do 0, 3. Oh, that's actually not there. 0, 2, 0, 3. Separator. On separator, there are several things that I can ask. For example, how big should be the separator? How much should be the retention time for the separator? Right? Or for the line heater, I should be able to ask you like how much heat is required, right? And you did that in the homework already. Oh, and we don't have many equations, do we? So all this you memorize it, but it's 30. So if you know just 5 points, okay, for the memorization part, if you know just 5, and you can do the ethics part very well, so that you get 10, and then you have to do another 90, and then you get 100, right? You may not have memorized much. What is this? Derivation of all this. Buoyancy thing. It should be fine, right? You did that in the homework already. How do we get 5.448 or something? It may not be in the exam, but if it is not, don't blame me, okay? But you did that already. There's not much to ask you. Droplet size, retention time, size in the horizontal separator. If it is in the exam, the equation will be given, and most likely the unit will be given too, because some equation you don't know what to put in unless you know the unit. Okay, so it just put some number in the equation and ask you how to do it. Is that too difficult? No, it's not difficult. So I'm not going to ask too many of that. I may have to ask you just so you to know that you can plug the number in and do some calculation. Okay, so there's equation. Settling velocity. Whatever it is inside, I have to give you the equation. I cannot just, hey, I don't give you the equation, tell me how to size anything. But sometimes something you don't need to have the equation. So let's do somebody else. Next to, okay, Jacob, Dale.
He's not here today.
Okay. Is he here in the sign-up sheet, Tolani? Okay. Davis, Taylor Davis. What kind of calculation that you can do right away without any equation provided? In this class, we talk about line heater. What kind of calculation in line heater that you can do right away without any equation given? No, nothing. Let's move on. No, line heater. Separator. What kind of calculation that you can do right away for line heater, separator, without any equation provided? You have no idea. So for heater treater, if you don't have any equation, I know how much heat to add into, or I know the amount of heat required. Can you select the firebox rating or something with the table? Probably. So if I know I have to heat emulsion from 100 Fahrenheit to 130 Fahrenheit, how much heat do I need? Can you answer this kind of thing? Equation is not provided. There is no table or anything. You cannot do it. Can you estimate it? How to do that, Taylor? Taylor Davis. MCP negative, right? So if I know what kind of mass or mass flow rate, so I know specific heat capacity. How much is specific heat capacity of water? 1 BTU, right? Per pound, per Fahrenheit. So you just know this. And what about oil? It's half of that, right? Approximately. So I think I may give you more information if that kind of thing has to be done. But you can do it calculation. So my point is, any very like crazy calculation or something very difficult that you need equation to do any calculation, you should not be afraid of that, because equation will be given. But something that is easy enough, that you don't need equation and you should be able to do the calculation, you should be careful with that. Okay. So, Hamza A. Jan, how do you calculate the retention time given the tank size?
Use the equation.
What?
Use the equation.
No equation given. How do you do that? I have 400 barrel tank. Okay. I tell you the flow rate. How much is the retention time? Can you do that? So if I have 400 barrel tank and I operate at 300 barrel out of 400 barrel and I have 300 barrel per day, how much is the retention time? Answer. Maybe let's make it a little bit easier. Okay, 400 barrel tank, I operate half full, and I have liquid coming in at 200 barrel per day. What is the retention time for liquid phase, Hamza?
1 day.
Half a day, 1 day, right? 1 day. So we have the volume for 1 day. How do you calculate that? Is what? Volume over flow rate or flow rate over volume or something? This kind of thing doesn't require the equation, right? I don't need to give you any equation and you should be able to tell me something. So that thing maybe you have to be careful with. So the rest, the equation has to be given, otherwise, or the chart. Can you read the chart? So if I give you the equation, you can do it, right? Just put it in the calculator. Not that difficult. And it is course book. You're not allowed to have any equation with you, so I don't expect you to memorize. Let's say, hey, memorize this. That's too much, right? So this is about separator. The next one is emulsion. Okay, line heater. So that's not much equation. The first one is the Brinkman correlation, this equation, but I don't want you to memorize that. If it is in the exam, it will be given. Next one is, what is it about? Derivation of some number. This is some place to ask you about the derivation of some number. But I cannot just ask you, I have to give you something to start with, right? Plus, you will always have the first page of the exam which tell you, hey, 1 kilogram equal to how many pounds, or 1 barrel equal to that much, cubic foot, gallon to liter, cubic centimeter to 1 liter, GC 1 feet, inch, foot, all the unit conversion you have it. So you should be able to do this. Okay, if I tell you some equation, I think one of the previous exam, maybe 2 years ago, I asked about some constant in the equation. Yes, I did ask that in the past. Like this number, I don't think it's too difficult if I show you what is the starting point. Right? Like this equation, vertical treater. I really need to give you the equation to ask you anything about this. See? And you don't need to memorize that. This equation, you need it, right? Oh, about the erosional velocity. When you do the erosional velocity, even though the equation is given, so you need to know that actual velocity have to be lower than erosional velocity. Just that, right? There are certain things that you need to know. Assume that the equation is given. Oh, how do we get 1,440? And this is easy, right? So for this kind of easy thing, you should be able to do it, should you? Retention time, and this thing that I put in the homework, you can do it, right? Can you? Maybe if you can do it, I should remove it from the exam. So it's just an easy thing. Don't worry about it too much, okay? And if you cannot memorize, hey, between what is the benefit of vertical treater over horizontal treater or different kind of mesh, That's just 10 points. Get 90, it's still fun. Right? Storage thing is just a picture, right? You have to tell picture what is this one? What is that small thing? Deep hatch, very easy, right? Windsock, deep hatch, and what's this? We don't have anything much. What is that thing? Deep hatch. Cannot ask you something like this. That's another deep hatch. Deep, and we have color cut, hydrometer, oil gauging tape. It's too easy, right? Tank thing, and some people die. I cannot ask you like on this year how many people die about that. No, I cannot ask you that. Oh, what is that? Vent valve. Okay, that is vent valve, inline vent valve. Okay. Pressure setting. Oh, what do you call this kind of roof? Frangible roof. There's not many to memorize either, okay? And hatch calculation, we don't do any of that. And compressor, I already showed you the equation. And this time, there's no conceptual thing about the compressor, so it's easy. Right? I don't ask you for the polytropic process, n equal to 0 is what? Isothermal, isobaric, isentropic or something. No. But I can ask you something similar to this for the flow across the choke, right? Flow across the choke is a constant what? Enthalpy. So it's very easy. Jared, you want anything more?
No, it's good.
If it is difficult, you don't have to worry about it too much because equation will be given. You should worry about the easy stuff that I don't need to give you equation and you should be able to do it. What is that? And that part, it could be very difficult if you don't know it. Okay. We talk about multi-stage compressor. Can you use this chart? Go up, go down, go up, go down. Seems to be easy, right? Did I talk about this? Okay. Jared. Oh, that's you. Okay, next. Karim, Osama. Hey, Karim. From point A to point B, what is stay constant from point A to point B? Okay. What about B to C? Huh? B to C, what stay constant? What is the process that we do from B to C? Do we cool it, heat it, compress it, expand it, or what? Compress it. No, compression occurs from A to B. A to B. And this is A to B. This sign is compressor. And number 2 is the first and second stage. This represents compression. B to C is cooling. Right? So that is cooling. What stay constant, Karim? When you cool it, temperature doesn't stay constant. Yes, you should worry about my exam, it's difficult. B to C, what stay constant? We cool it, temperature, pressure, right? And then we compress it again. And so this kind of thing, I think you should know it, right?
Yeah.
And all this, I cannot put all this on the exams. Too many, okay? Too many examples. But I can just pick one, or don't pick any of this at all, and you will still be able to do it. This derivation. It looks very long, and I don't expect you to memorize it for the exam, okay? Is that fair enough, or you want me to put this on the exam? I cannot do it. I have to look at the book to do all this. Okay? The book starts from here and give me the final line, and I have to guess what is in the middle, and this is what I come up with. Okay, this comes from me. But maybe that's too much to ask you to do all that in 20 minutes. It's a lot. No more question of the exam. Okay. So out of 6 questions, one of them has to be about compression. Okay. Next to William W. William, how much is the compression ratio per stage? Recommended compression ratio per stage, William. How much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much do you like? Just pick one. 2 is too small. It has to be from 3 to 4. So this kind of number, even though it's not on part 2, but if you don't know it, how can you do the compression problem? Right? So I asked you to design compressor. Okay. I should tell, right? Compression ratio should be between 3 and 4. William, for vapor recovery unit, okay, if I go from 0 ounce to about 30, what is my compression ratio?